Welcome back to another episode of Straight Up, where we give you straight up crypto market updates with no bullshit involved. Today we've got big news for gaming and even bigger news coming out of India. A massive macro pattern for Bitcoin, getting all the chart nerds wet at the lips. And an altcoin gem that looks very strong, and also a couple other little bits and bobs to show you. So first we'll take a look at CoinGecko and have a look at the old crypto ladder and see what we can see here today. And a lot of zeros. Here we have Juno, Quant, Cosmos, Osmosis, Mana, HBAR. We've been seeing Cosmos up here a lot in the overperformers lately, so that's something to keep in your memory banks. And losers, yeah, we've got a few. Go up, goes down, as we know. Search, Immutable X. So I was looking for that on purpose here because GameStop taps Immutable X for NFT marketplace, which is fucking huge, really. GameStop, and if anybody's been following the Wall Street Bets crowd, they support GameStop, and just imagine all those lads coming over into and aping into Immutable X, well and truly possible. So I didn't think I could get much more bullish on Immutable X with the partnerships with OpenSea, Gods Unchained, etc., but here we are, ticking boxes and making things happen. So that's that for Immutable X. The next piece of news is, in a reversal, India says it will tax cryptocurrency and create a digital rupee. Well, they can keep their CBDC to themselves for now, and we'll talk about the cryptocurrency thing. So India is one of the largest countries in the world with 1.4 billion people, right? And I would argue that it's definitely the strongest emerging nation, and anybody that studies and invests in emerging nations would likely agree with that. So now, as we can see, the country has capitulated into Bitcoin. They have given up the little ban debacle and they have moved and seen the light. So what we have seen in the past is various Indian governments, governing bodies in India, like thinking about completely banning crypto. They're putting a lot of pressure on all the crypto industries in India and forcing a lot of Indians to be scared and sell all their cryptos because of uncertainty and doubt. But now they have reversed course, and the people of India have spoken. They said, we want Bitcoin, we want cryptocurrencies. So all the people that were in India sitting at bay waiting for certainty of whether or not they should become a crypto investor, that's potentially up to a maximum of 1.4 billion people that could be involved. So that is a huge demand incoming on the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space from India, the number one emerging nation. So fucking massive. All right, this is the part that I was excited to show you. Here we have Bitcoin on the daily chart. So for all those chart nerds that I'm talking to and people that like large scale macro pattern formations, then here's a good one for you. We've got a big trend line here. A trend line is formed. Remembering a trend line is formed when it is touching more than 3 points of contact. So 1, 2, 3. Or is it? If this loads, it's 4. So that's a massive trend line right there. We can agree on that, and then we can also draw this for a apex like that, and see that this pattern right here is running right out of room, right out of time. And then I've got something to add on to this as well that may give you little tingles. Is anybody that's heard of the death cross? So the death cross is when the 200 moving average and the 50 moving average cross, and we can see that it happened here. Death cross, golden cross, death cross. So we've had a death cross after downturn, and but wait, there's more. So after the death cross, I want to show you something. After the death cross right here, we had 32 bars until green candle. So let's have a look at the distance between this death cross and the apex of the pattern. Look at that. 32 bars, my boy. 32 bars. So, I mean, you can make your own mind up on that, but that is pretty cool. That is just about as juicy as it gets for a large scale macro pattern. So, make your mind up on that one, but the bull case is not bad, seeing that. Just clean this up a bit for you before we zoom in a little bit. I just want to show you something on the daily which is a bit bearish and that is when the indicators close. This right here is technically very, albeit slight, it is classified as hidden bearish divergence, so trend continuation on the highs. So bearish divergence is, making lower highs, and then the oscillator, the RSI, making high highs. So that is bearish trend continuation sign on the RSI, so not too good for the bull boys. What else we've got is the Bollinger Bands. This is sort of kind of bullish in a sense of correction power, because we can see a lot of the time that these Bollinger Bands do get attacked, but then they get respected as support lines here. A little bit of an attack, but more times than not they get respected as downside support. And we can see here that the Bollinger Band, the downside, is starting to rise. So the longer this stays around here or higher, the Bollinger Band will rise, and then that is giving us a potential a higher low. So trend reversal potential right there on the daily. So that is some good stuff. And here we've just quickly zoomed in on the Bitcoin 4-hour chart for just a little bit of a closer look, and we can see this massive resistance level right here, and we can see that we did not close above or confirm with another candle above it after that as well. So no confirmation. Some people were also drawing their resistance lines here at the bottom of that candle, so that didn't get closed above there, or there either, with no confirmation as well. So that is why we are heading down now, and we're just, as I said before, praying for higher lows for the bulls. Now for one of the strongest altcoins that I can find in regards to potential trend reversal, and that is USD baby, DYDX. There we go. I've cleaned that up for you a little bit. We can see here on DYDX that this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 huge counts of bullish divergence, suggesting trend reversal on the daily. So that is juicy, that is thick, and I thought you might want to know that one. Now to finish off with some general sentiment, and we can see here that the funding rates are basically all negative, in the negative. So as you can see here, negative funding rates suggest speculators are bearish and short traders paying funding to long traders. So the majority of market that are doing leverage trading are bearish, and you know what we like to do on this channel is bet against the crowd. So betting against the crowd, another tick for the bulls. And we can see here also on Glassnode that we've more proof of negative funding rates. There's just one more thing that I want to show you, and that is the open interest of Bitcoin futures. So the amount of futures contracts that are open as a total, and as we can see here, it's pretty much relative to the Bitcoin price, except for these big large indications of people getting liquidated or closing their contracts, or not being keen on deciding which way that the price is going to go. But if we zoom in a bit, we see something here which is a downwards turn of the open interest. So that metric there not having a sharp leg up with Bitcoin doing something drastic like turning around like what it just did, shows that it's high potential of a range play instead of another hard leg down, because it doesn't really have that gasoline to get that fire going. It doesn't have all those people open into futures contracts and with certainty that we're going down, or yada yada. And actually another thing that would likely be happening to bring that down is short sellers taking profits and closing their positions. So they're shutting their contracts, taking profits, ending the position, and which is good to see for the bulls, because there's not as we want this open interest to go down as much as possible before we have a turnaround in price action. So a lot of these short sellers taking profits and getting ready to head up. And the last thing that I want to show you before we wrap it up is a little bit of history. We've got the Bitcoin monthly returns, February, April, May, all tied here on the podium for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins, 3 losses. So we've got 3 people trying to fit on that first place, and this year is going to, I believe, narrow it down to 2 or 1, and we will see whether February wants to stay in the cool section there in the winners lounge or the leaderboard. But you know, statistically, February has been a bullish month for Bitcoin, much more than not. So we shall see what happens there and keep track of that one. So that's a wrap. If you like the content that I provide, come check us out at Blockchain Bulls, where we've got a team that give you updates daily. A lot more. Check the website out, and also check the link below for a free month. Come take a visit and see what you think. So peace out. Have a wonderful day and weekend coming, and I'll talk to you next time.